Okay, awesome. So anybody that's new here, I think Alex, you might only be the new one here this week. There should be more people jumping on, but just a quick reminder on how my training schedules work. So the first and third Thursday of every month, I'm covering Go High Level Basics or the CRM, like how to create a contact, how to create a workflow, how to update your opportunities if you're doing that. So that's the first and third Thursday of every month. We'll do an hour call, and then at the end of it, I'll answer any questions that you have. Second Thursday of every month, I try to have a guest on, either like a coach or a tech platform, or just somebody that, or like a high producer inside of the industry that can just come in and teach us how they're generating leads, growing their business. So we do that on the second Thursday of every month. And then the fourth Thursday of every month, I'm trying to add a new feature where I don't charge extra, but it's just an addition to what I'm doing currently. I should have this done by the fourth Thursday, but one thing that I'm adding is I'm setting up a workflow where you can invite agents you don't know or you currently know to like a podcast on like your Google Meet or Zoom. And then I have it all automated where you'll just send me the link to the recording, and then I'll clip up the videos for social, and then I'll also create it as a blog. So that way we can generate some value for agents that don't know who you are, and then the ones that do know who you are. So pretty excited about that. I'll talk about that on fourth Thursday of this month. So we'll get started in the training. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. And I'll kind of stop the call as we go, but I'll try to do it in sections. So wait for me to stop the section, and then I'll see if you guys have any questions, and I'll go to the next one. But yeah, just let me know. Okay, so we're going to start very basic. Again, if you feel pretty comfortable with Go High Level, no, don't feel like you have to hop on the first and Thursday calls. That's why I have less and less people jumping on here, because they're pretty familiar with it. But also, anytime you want to jump on, feel free to jump on. I just don't want you guys to get bored if it's like your fifth training of Go High Level. So first, we're going to start off with very basic how to create a contact inside of the system. So if you go to contacts, and you click add contact in the top right, this is how you create the contact. So I'll just put in a fake one here. And we'll do Devin plus, let's just do 100 at hovadigital.com. And then this part's important. So it's contact type. So your CRM might look a little bit different, because every loan officer I work with, I try to customize it to exactly how they want it built out. So if yours looks a little bit different, that's why, but it should be semi-similar. So let's say that Devin's a real estate. I'm going to click save, and then that will create the contact. I have automation set up in each of your accounts where if you refresh, it's automatically going to assign the contact to you. So if you send like a text or an email, it will show it's coming from Alex or for Rick. So again, that's how you create the contact. Going on the left-hand side, and then after I get through these sections, I'll stop for questions. We can customize any of this information, which is pretty cool. So Alex, I know you're new and we're setting up your CRM. So this is something like keep in mind. That's pretty dang cool. These are called contact folders. So this is how I categorize my folders, but we can do it whatever way you want, guys. So I have contact, which would be like first name, last name, nickname, email, phone number, date of birth, right? Like contact info. Then I have loan details. So this would be like the loan ID, loan status, referring agent, like anything that's related to the loan. Then I have loan parties, which would be like the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, the title agent, transaction coordinator, right? Then I have loan events inside of here. So these are like dates of an event. So if someone submitted an application, it would like show that date that they submitted their app. Redder, if you're using Redder, this just pulls directly from Redder through their webhook. So if you have Redder, let me know. I'll get that combined. And then these ones at the bottom, these are for me for marketing. So I would just ignore them. You're not going to use them too much. Like website questions, surveys for HELOC, survey for refinance, stick them, and things like that. So Alex, just because you're new, kind of not picking on you, but just to point out, we can customize this to whatever you want, guys. So if you want like, trying to think of a good example. If you want the buyer's agent and the contact info at the top, we can put that there. We can even rename the folders, which is why I like Go High Level so much. Second thing here is D&D. So if let's say you get a client that just like maybe the loan didn't go great and you don't want them to get texts or emails from you in the future, you can manually D&D them right here just by clicking this. And then actions, this is where you can add them to a workflow. So For anybody that doesn't know what a workflow is a combination of emails, texts, voicemail drops. There's a lot of things you can build in a workflow. So let's say that we have Devin and he would really benefit from like a refinance campaign. So I'm just going to type in refinance and maybe we put him on like let's do like a cash out refinance campaign, and I click add. That would put them on a refinance campaign with the emails and text and everything. I'm going to show you how to view that in just a minute, but that's how you'd add them to it. Cool thing is, I think everybody here is on my marketing package. Another benefit is you don't even need to log into the CRM if you don't want to. You can email me and say, hey, can you put Rick on a credit repair campaign? And I'll do it for you. I try to like really just take care of everything, but that's how you do it if you did it yourself. And then last thing, and then I'm going to open questions after this section. Right here in the middle is where you're going to see conversation logs. So if someone texts you or if someone calls you or if someone emails you, that's just going to show up in the middle right here. It can also connect to like Instagram and Google My Business as well. So you can see those direct messages right here. And then going down on the very right-hand side is you can see if they did submit their information through like a landing page, which landing page they submitted their info through. You could also create tasks inside of here. So I'll show that right here. So let's say I want to add a task to follow up with Devin about his application. So I just say follow up with Devin. And then right here, again, I'll just say follow up with Devin about his application. And then I would just set a date and time when I need to follow up with Devin. And then I'll sign it. Make sure you assign it to yourself, because if you have like an assistant or someone, it's just going to be, you're not going to get notified when it's due. Let's say that you want to set up a recurring task for someone, whether you're trying to follow up with an agent every week or maybe a client every week. You'll just click set up recurring task. You can select the number of weeks or days you want that to repeat, and then you just click create, and that will create the task. So that's task right there. Again, almost done with it, and I'll open it up to questions. Next thing is notes. So if you want to add a note about a specific contact, so for an example, I see top producers, they'll add more personal notes to here. So for what we could do here is like personal notes. Devin lives in Utah. He has 3 kids. His favorite team is the Utah Jazz. And then you could also color if you, it's cool. I like it. I use it, but you can color these like a specific color. So if you want like anything loan related, a specific color, you can make it like green, or maybe if you just want personal notes to be blue. And then you can also attach files to this. So let's say you have like a picture of Devin's family, or you have a headshot of him. You can upload that inside of the note. You click save. And here's why this is what top producers are doing. When they go into the CRM and they're trying to have a conversation with Devin, it doesn't just have to be about the loan. Now they can say, hey, how are you kids doing? Hey, I saw the Jazz suck this year, but maybe you might get the first draft kind of thing, right? Now you have some things to talk to about them rather than just the loan. You can also pin notes in the top right if you want that to be like pinned to personal notes, so it shows up at the top when you call Devin. And then you can also add documents. Rick, I think, were you using this? Yeah, I was trying to think of like good examples for documents. I thought you
No, I have not yet, but I like that feature.
Okay, I would love to hear from you, because I actually haven't used it personally. What would you put in like documents, just like benefit everybody?
I would maybe even copy like some of my handwritten notes on something that we talked about. I would certainly do that. I might, I would not put things that have their social on it, but anything of, maybe their CD, that closing CD for reference, things like that.
Yeah, I love that. And you can also, if you like take a picture on your phone, if it's written down, like the handwritten notes, you can use the mobile app and you can use it the same way. So I think that's like a great example of that.
Yeah, I like that, because if you do that, sometimes they'll call you like a year later and go, what was that rate? What was their loan amount? And they just pull it up and know exactly what they did. And sometimes they'll ask for a copy. Hey, can you send me a copy of my CD? Got it right here. I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I'm going to use that for examples in the future.
Or even on like an annual review calls. If they have a question, you have it right there in front of them.
Yeah, I think
for their taxes and stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome. I really like that. So that's everything like inside of a contact, like what you would see, how to edit the contact, how to view it. I'm going to stop there for a second before we move on to like workflows. But does anybody have any questions on how to create a contact, how to edit, add notes, add a task that I can dive into? Okay. Alex, I'm going to pick on you specifically. Go ahead, John.
Well, I have one loan that closed a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I want to find out how to make sure it's reflected in here correctly. So
yeah. John, what I'll do is I'll just so I can keep moving forward. I'm writing down a note. I'm going to record you a Loom video, like you can watch on your screen. And then I'll show you. Do you have the name of the person just so when I record this video afterwards, I can send it to you?
Todd Hodges.
Tom Hodges?
Todd.
Oh, Todd. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send you a video on how to review that. That one is specific to you. Does that work, John?
Yeah.
Okay. Alex, I'm only picking on you because you're new. Any questions on that? I want to make sure because I know one of your things is like the other CRM wasn't great. So I want to make sure it's easy.
I mean, I've used Go High Level in the past, but obviously every single Go High Level is a little bit different, like is how you customize it or whatever. But yeah, no, it's all pretty standard.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Rick, did you say? Oh,
I gotcha. My question is, if somebody sends an email back in the conversation, will that come back to the conversation, or is it only going to go to Alex's email?
It's going to go back to your email, and then if they replied from it's going to go to like your main email, right? If you're using Gmail or Outlook. But if it was an email that originated from the CRM, like if you send the email from the CRM and they reply back, it's going to go into conversations and it will go to your Gmail or Outlook too. Does that make sense?
And then so if I have a second account, like have my own seat, would things that I send come from my email versus Alex's?
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you're logged in to like whoever you're trying to email from, if that makes sense. So like the from right here, you can change to be Alex right? Like you can change it. But I would just make sure you're logged into that account if you're using that account. That way you don't have to worry about like it coming from another person. If that makes sense.
Okay. And then text messages, is that where you click the drop down where it says email?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go to a contact that has a phone number in here just so you can see the difference.
Okay.
Let's go there. Devin. So right here under text messages, it's just SMS.
Okay.
Right there. I'll believe that too. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. No problem. Anybody else have any questions about contacts before I go to work like the next thing that we'll go through? Okay, there is actually one more thing I want to show you guys before we go to workflows, and that's going to be under marketing and snippets. So you guys may have like a text or an email that you send over and over and over again, but you're changing a little bit inside of the email, like the interest rate or whatever it may be, right? So a snippet is something that you can use to send to a specific contact and Go High Level, but you can change it before you send it over. So I'm going to show you how to create a snippet inside of here. So if you go to marketing and you go to snippets and you click create new snippet, we can do a text snippet. So I'll do text first. You're going to want to label these snippets so they're easy for you to categorize, right? If you're on my marketing plan, if you have like a list of texts or emails that you send, just send them over to me and I'll actually create them for you. So you don't have to do it yourself. So I'll just label this one test. So one of the things with snippets and even workflows, you can add custom values. So we know that like the name, that's going to be a custom value. That's just going to be the same every time. So you could do, hey, custom value, contact first name, and then you can put in the rest of your text right there. So that's how you do a text snippet. Email snippet, very similar. You're just going to label it first right here, right? Put in your subject, and then how you add a custom value like a first name. Same thing. It's going to be like this price tag icon, and then it's going to be contact and then first name right there. So that's how you create an email snippet. Just to show you why that's helpful. If you go to a contact and let's say we go to like Devin, for example, we want to send Devin a text, but it's the same text I send to all my clients. I just need to change it a little bit. If I click on SMS and then I click right here under snippets and I click on explain pre-qual versus pre-approval, I can change this before I send it over to Devin. A workflow it's just like you can't change it unless if you change it in the workflow first. So a snippet is you can add it to the contact and you can change it before it sends. A workflow will just send as is as you created it for everybody. Does that make sense, guys, on snippets? Okay. One more thing that I do want to go over. If you have a list of tasks throughout your CRM for multiple contacts, if you want to see like a main view of every single task out there, you can see that right here. Your overdue tasks, you'll just click on overdue and it will show you all of the tasks that are due for that person in the task. So, okay, we're going to move away from contacts and we're going to go into workflows. Workflows can get a little confusing or overwhelming. So I'll try to stop in sections in workflows. So please let me know if you have questions. If you're on my marketing package, I just like to remind people because I try to do everything. If you want a workflow built, just send me bullet points of what you're looking for. And I'll build it from scratch for you and then send it over to you to review. So this is how you review the workflows though, and how you create a workflow. So let's first start on how to create a workflow. So you'll go to automation, you'll click on create workflow. And I would recommend starting from scratch just because you want to create like a trigger, email, text. Let's say we want to create this workflow for birthdays, right? We want to send up custom emails. We want to send out custom texts, one at someone's birthday. So the first thing with every single workflow, you need a trigger. So this needs to trigger off a date, it needs to trigger off a task, or it needs to trigger off a stage. So we're going to do add new trigger. For this one specifically, I'm going to do contact changed right here. Actually, there's actually a birthday reminder. So we could just do the birthday reminder one right here for this workflow. Cool thing is you can also do before the number of days. So if I just said like, hey, I want to send an email and text a day before everybody else, that way, before they get hit with the spam emails and hearing from everybody else, I'm the first one, top of their mind. So that's how you create the trigger. That's what triggers the workflow. Then you have what are called actions. So these are a combination of like emails, texts, tasks, voicemail drops. Like there's a lot that you can do in actions. So for this one, I'm just going to do a text message. We're going to do send SMS, and we're just going to say, hey, custom value contact. I wanted to wish you a happy birthday a day early before everyone else got to you. Hope you have a great day. So that's how you add the task in there. You can also add an attachment. So if you have like a voicemail that you recorded that you want to be in like the text, you can put that in there. If you have a GIF, like a Giphy, you can put that in there too, inside of the text. And then we're going to save the action right there. You'll also want to create an email. Most of the time, if you have a text, you want an email going along with that too. This part's important. So the from is going to be you. So you're going to want to do from user full name and then from user email. And then if you want to CC like the buyer's agent or BCC the buyer's agent, just so they know it's this person's birthday, it's good to like kind of give them a heads up if they were helping with that loan. It's a good way to provide value. But you'd go to custom values right here, type in buyer's agent, and then you're going to do email address. And then what's cool about that is when you send the email to the borrower or the contact, the buyer's agent will be blind copied on there. And then I'll send you how to send an individual email to the buyer's agent too. Subject, again, just like happy birthday. We'll keep it simple. And then I would code in like their name. Preview header text. So best way to explain this is you have your subject, and right underneath your subject line, you have like the first line of the email. The preview header text is that first line of the email. So if you want it to say a specific thing, you can put that inside of here. Then we're going to go to the email itself. So I'm a hey type of person. If you're a hi type of person, that's fine. But you're just going to do, hey, code in the first name, happy birthday. And then at the end of every single email, this is very important. If you don't have this on here, it's not going to code in your email signature. So you're just going to type in signature, and then you're going to do user signature. Great news for you guys that are on my marketing package. I will build this for you. So if you're like, hey, I want to do a birthday workflow, just send me an email. I'll set it up for you. I'll even script a video for you to record, and I'll do everything. This is just if you ever want to like do stuff on your own. This is why I'm showing this.
Hey, Devin.
One more thing. Oh, go ahead, Rick. Yeah.
Sorry, can I answer the question? Yeah, thanks. Go back. What was that piece about the pre-header or something? What was that?
Yeah. So when you get an email, there's a subject line in the email, then right
Right.
underneath that, it's like the first line of like what the email is, if that makes
The
sense.
subject line before they open it?
Yep. Right below the subject line, it always shows the first like sentence of the email, unless if you have pre-header text. So if you wanted the subject to be like happy birthday, and then you
Right.
kind of wanted like underneath that to show the first line of the email that says something like wanted to wish you a happy birthday, this would show up right underneath the subject line. Does that make sense?
Before the open email.
Yep.
Okay,
Exactly.
gosh, I wasn't sure where that flow was there. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Great
That's-
question. I'm glad you brought that up. One more thing, if you want to like send an email or a text to your buyer's agent or your seller's agent. So your buyer's agent and your seller's agent, they're tied to the contact itself as a custom field. This is where people get a little confused, and this is why I'll set it up for you. We're actually going to do an internal notification, and hear me out till the end because it sounds like, wait, why are we doing that? So I'm going to do SMS for this. We're going to do a custom number. And inside of that custom number, we're going to search the buyer's agent phone number. And then this is where we could say, hey, and again, you're not coding in the contact name, you're sending to the buyer's agent. So you could say hey, buyer's agent, first name, just wanted to let you know it's contacts, which is the primary contacts, birthday. So I'm trying to explain this as easy as I can because it took me a little bit to kind of grasp. When a workflow triggers, it bases it off of the main contact, right? So if I'm the borrower, Devin, and Rick is the buyer's agent, it's going to send a text and an email on my birthday because I'm the primary contact. Within a primary contact, you have custom fields, and you have your buyer's agent, your seller's agent, like other parties inside of that contact, but they're custom fields. So the reason we need to do an internal notification is because it's still tied to the primary contact, but we're sending it from that custom field. Super confusing. Have me set it up, but does that like kind of make sense for everybody here if you send an email or text to a buyer's or seller's agent?
So if I'm hearing you right on that, Devin, the cool feature that I see on that is that you're notifying your buyer's agent a day ahead of time that it's their client's birthday, just a heads up.
Yep, exactly.
Without it going out to your client itself.
Yes.
It's got the
Yes.
private message to your buyer's agent that, hey, these guys have a birthday tomorrow. Like, don't forget.
Yeah, and we can do that on like loan anniversaries too, where we can say, hey John, it's Devin's birthday. I mean, it's Devin's loan anniversary. Just want to say thank you again for helping me on this loan. Look forward to getting more people into home in the future. So like
the same thing though, the anniversary for your buyer on the loan anniversary. So would you do the same thing then to their buyer's agent on the loan anniversary or the day of closing?
Yeah, exactly. We could do that too. We can do that for loan milestones as well.
Yeah, right. That's not a bad idea in terms of just staying in touch with the realtor and other than what most agents or most lenders do.
Exactly. And I set this up for you because it can get tricky. So if you're wanting to do anything like that, just remember, like I do everything for you guys. So just let me know if you guys ever want anything.
Cool.
So that's how you create a workflow. And then one more thing I do want to show, because I've been getting asked this a lot. If you want to check like your open rate and like your delivered rate, click-through rate, reply rate, you're just going to click on the email inside of the workflow and you'll just click view details. And then if you haven't set in that workflow for a while, it's going to show 0. So one thing you need to change is the date range right here. And I would do like the last 90 days. Then you'll get an average over the last 90 days who's opened the birthday email or like the loan anniversary email. So that's how you check the stats of each workflow. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else important inside of workflows. This means it's in draft. When you hit publish, that means it's live. Like it's actually going to go out. So draft, it's not going to go out. Publish, it will. So I'm going to delete this one just so it doesn't mix up everybody's. Okay, before I go and show you how to view the different workflows, does anybody have questions on like how to create a workflow and how to view the stats? Does that make sense for everybody?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
So when you set it up at the beginning and you have the birthday, the 1 day thing, how do you know when those emails and texts are going to send? Is it based off of that first bullet point and then it'll send at the same time?
Exactly. So it's going to be based off of the So like for that one specifically, it'd be based off the birthday, right? So if I go to Devin inside of his contact and I go to date of birth, let's say that I put Devin's date of birth as like May 12th, right? It would just go out a day earlier because the workflow is before a number of days off of the. Does that make sense, Tyler? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it does. I was just confused because like it shows the first point where you put the date one day before, and then in the middle there was the text and the email. So I was just curious if those get sent out together and if it's the day before based off of the first thing that you did.
Yeah, because it's based off of your trigger. So if your trigger was one day before, then it would send all the emails and texts. Here, I'll show you one thing actually. That's a good point. Let's say, and I'll just pull up this one as an example. Let's say that you have your trigger as one day before. You can create what's called a wait action, and you could say like wait 2 days, 3 days, if that makes sense, and then based off of that. So
perfect.
Yep, no problem. Okay. So I have a lot of different things. I'm adding more things inside of the CRM, like every single month. I'm just constantly evolving the CRM. If you guys ever want anything custom, just let me know and I'll add it. I do have some loan officers that are signed up with different like programs, and they told me they're good if I add it for everybody, which is cool because we can help each other. One thing that I want to point out, I have a bunch of different LOSs that are integrated, like Arrive, Nano, oh my gosh, Lending Pad. I do have Encompass for one specific company because their company approved it. So I just want to show you how to find those loan milestone workflows, and I send you an email on this. Like, I think it's the second week of onboarding. So let's say you have, let's just use Arrive if you're using Arrive. Sorry, everybody, if you're using a different LOS. It's going to be very similar, though. It's going to be something with status communication at the end of it. So if I go to Arrive loan status communication, I have these all in draft, and I do that purposely because I want you to review each one to make sure you're happy with the content. Doesn't mean we can't customize it. I just want to make sure you're happy before you turn it on. So if I want to go in and look at the Arrive application submitted and see what's built inside of that workflow, I can see here how it triggers, and then I can see based off of if it's a purchase or refinance, what's being sent out. I already have emails sending to the buyer's agents and texts on applications submitted if it's a purchase, but you would just click on the action right here and you can change anything inside of here if you want. So if you feel like, no, I don't like the way it talks or I want it to sound different, you'll just update it by clicking in the body and clicking save. Once you're happy with the content that's going out, you're going to click the publish button. And then if you're using Arrive or Nano or any LOS, it's going to sync from that LOS to the CRM, and then it will trigger. If you don't have an LOS that's integrated, like your company said, hey, no, we're not going to integrate our Encompass, we'll need to base it off of a pipeline and a stage. And I'm going to show you what that is, guys, in just a second, but that's how you view the loan milestones. I also have a bunch of different lead campaigns in here, so I try to keep this super organized, but it doesn't mean we can stop there. So like holidays, lead campaigns, lead magnets, I have that all inside of here. You can check them out anytime. Everybody I meet with before I work with them, if you guys remember from my first call, you met with me, I don't like to use stock stuff. So if you want to use something, just let me know and I'll create video scripts for it, and then we can start using video. So okay, that's probably enough about workflows. Any questions about workflows, guys? Does that make sense?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, let's go to, because everything else will get too complicated if we go into funnels, because I'm doing that. Let's go to, we did contacts, we did automation. Let's go to, let's go to conversations. Dang, I wish I had some in here. So this is your conversations folder. Right off the beginning, you're going to have any texts or emails that are unread that are showing right here. This is like my template account, so I don't have any in here. And then you're going to have all right here. Oh, wait, I do have some. I just read them. All will be like every text or email that you've ever sent. So you've had a backlog, and then you'll have recent too. So this is just a quicker way to see like who's texted you last, who's emailed you last, or who's tried to call you last. So that's inside of there. And then one last thing, and then I'll open it up to questions. So Go High Level does have a power dialer, and it's pretty dang cool, like how it works. So if you go to automation, I'll show you guys how this works, but it's just labeled power dialer. So if you have like an assistant or someone you want like calling for you, but you want them to call one by one, this is the workflow. It's called Power Dialer. So workflow should already be set up inside of your account and published. But let's say I want to add, let's do these 3 because they have phone numbers. I'll actually start from the top. You're going to trigger an automation, and I can even do this for you and just name it Power Dialer. And then the workflow is going to be labeled Power Dialer as well. And then you're going to add them to the automation. So that's going to add them to the Power Dialer for you to call. I had a loan officer. He wanted a Power Dialer specifically for loan anniversaries so that he could just go in and click on the loan anniversary Power Dialer and then just dial through the list. So it'll take a second to add it, but what you'll do is you go to conversations and you're going to click on manual actions. If you're using a Power Dialer for a specific reason, like birthdays, loan anniversaries, let me know, because then I can create a Power Dialer for that. And then we can filter the Power Dialers better. So it's not just everybody, right? So for an example, I have a Power Dialer for like current real estate agent monthly check-ins set up. So now you could make it where it only shows those people based on that Power Dialer. Like you make it that way. I'm just going to start from the top though and just do everybody. So if you click Let's Start, it's going to start calling, and it's going to call me. So I'm going to hang up. Sorry, 1 second. So I'll hang up here. And then I'm going to pause it before it goes to the next one. But you can now have dispositions inside of here, and we can actually customize these dispositions. Other thing, it was so annoying in the past. They had like the notes over all of like this section. So if you wanted to leave notes, you couldn't. They have updated it. Oh no. Right here. So you can move this wherever you'd like. So now you can add notes and stuff while you're on the call. Don't know why they didn't do that in the beginning, but if that was one of your complaints about the Power Dialer, you can now move the dialer while you leave notes. Then it'll go to the next one. So when it dials to, it pulls up the entire contact record. So like the notes, the custom fields, everything. So pretty cool feature. But I'll kind of add in there on like CRM basics and kind of just open it up to questions. John, I have Todd Hodges, which I'll send you a video about after this phone call. Any questions, guys, that I can answer for you about Go High Level or anything you want me to dive into?
Yeah, I think you did. On that Power Dialer, we can use that. We'd use the number in our CRM to call our agents, like on agents, or just create a list who you want to call, whether it's past contacts or wherever you want the list is, and just call them from your Power Dialer within the system on your number within that system.
Yeah. And if you're like, hey, because you can't mask your phone number for texting, but you can for phone calls, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you do,
it tracks your phone calls, all right? So you know who you called, because sometimes you'll call people like, wait, when did I talk to them last? You can't recall. Right?
Yeah. So you can mask it where like it actually shows from your cell phone number. So let me show everybody. Okay, I think that's a really cool thing we should do. So if you go to settings and you go to phone system, and then if you go inside of here and you go to, sorry, it takes a second, probably because I'm on Google Meet. I don't know what's going on with my internet today. Refresh. Okay, so you're going to go to Trust Center, and it's what's called right here, CNAM. And mine's already approved, but you'd click Start Registration, and you can say, hey, when I call someone on the caller ID, I want it to show Rick Dennis. I want it to show Brittany Richardson, right? Like you can do that inside of here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, after you get your caller ID approved, then you can go inside of here and you can add your cell phone as like masking it. So it's called verified caller IDs. What you'll do is you'll add your phone number, add verified caller ID. So I'll just do mine because I haven't done it yet in this account for everybody. We're going to do call me to verify. So I'll do this really quick while we're on the phone. And then you'll just put in your 6 digits. So 229662. And then it says it was successful. Go through. Again, you can't mask text messages, but you can phone calls. So if you're trying to like power dial through a list, it's pretty cool because then they'll think they're calling from your cell. So if they text, they're going to text your cell anyway.
Cool. Okay, so when you're calling from that system, if you do that masking feature, the number shows up on their phone as your cell phone number.
Exactly. If you do the CNAM first, and then you have to do the mask right here.
Yeah.
And then after you register it, you're going to edit the configuration. Actually, sorry, wrong step right here. So you're going to do edit your CRM phone number, edit configuration, and then I think it's under advanced settings. Bring your own number, and then I have it verified. So then it would mask it as yourself. Does that make sense?
I think so. So if they call you back,
It just goes to your cell now.
right? Does it also register that call on the CRM?
It does. So that's one disadvantage is it wouldn't, because they're calling your cell phone, so
Okay.
it looks like they called
So
from your cell,
bypasses
right?
the contact
So-
feature on the CRM. But if you don't change it, everything goes back to logs it to the CRM.
Yeah, because I kind of have a mix of loan officers. They just use
Yeah.
the full CRM and like they own it, and that's what they use for everybody. Some like to use their cell phones. I don't blame the people that like to use their cell phone. I don't know if you guys remember, like when you first talked with me, I use my cell phone to like talk to people, but my CRM to send mass texts. So I'll even say like, this is my CRM number, text my personal cell if I'm sending a mass text. That's how I do it, but I like to use my personal cell. I get better like answers and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
because your people identify you with your personal cell, not some number they don't recognize. They might
Right.
have been answered.
Right. So that's how you do that. I think that was a great question, Rick. I like that we dove into that. Any other questions, guys? We've kind of went through all the basics of this here, but
So when you're calling out, does it record all the phone calls if it's through the CRM?
yep. So if you go into, you can actually turn that on inside of here, and let me find it really quick. It's under. Sorry, I think it might be. Yeah, it's right here. So it's under voice right here, Tyler.
Okay.
And then you're just going to do enable. You're going to enable the call description, and then you're going to enable the recording. You don't want to automatically delete the other ones right here.
Okay.
Oh, one thing that I should show that would be pretty cool. You can have call scripts, by the way, like if you have a loan officer assistant or someone calling for you. So if you have someone dialing through your list, when you do that power dialer, it will actually show up the script on your screen. Like if you want them to say specific things, or if you want specific things as reminders, that's a new feature I forgot to go over. But yeah, it will record it, Tyler, as long as you have it turned on.
And then how about like manual phone calls versus like if you call somebody and the phone number is registered to their contact, is it automatically going to show up under their profile, or do you have to go to their contact first and call them from the contact?
Nope, you don't have to. So if you click on the dial button in the top right, it should be tied to a contact, but it doesn't have to be. So like, let's say for an example, I start typing in 801-682-3534. It's just going to pull up the contact automatically because that number is tied to it. So
Okay, cool.
if it wasn't tied to a contact, it would create a new contact, and then you could add the name later. Does that make sense, Tyler, on that part?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys, on the CRM?
No, not today.
Okay. Since I have you guys, I'm always trying to roll out new features. Last month, we went over the video testimonials. I hope that was pretty exciting for everybody. I've actually added something on my website, and I'm going to try to add more and more of these. But I'm going to have inside of here under resources. Sorry, let me zoom out. It's called package features and examples. Way more than I'm doing, right, than just these three. But if you want to see like, hey, what are some different ways I can utilize Devin? These are like things that I'm releasing inside of the package. So like video testimonials, we did a training on that last week. You can see how they work and everything, and then you can have it do it for me. This for Thursday, I should be done with automation by next week. I'm setting it up for everybody that's late. It's going to be kind of podcast management. So a good way to get in front of your agents that don't know who you are and your current agents is we're going to invite them to a podcast. It's just going to be on Google Meet or Zoom, whatever you guys want to use for like your recording. I like to use Google Meet because they don't really have a limit, and then it's easy to record. If you use Riverside, that's another good one. They'll have good quality. So I'm setting up everything. I even have the email and text created where you just click the workflow for the contact to invite them to it. And then they'll schedule through a calendar and go high level. They'll show up in your calendar. All you have to do is show up to the call, hit record, and then you'll send me the recording link when it's done. I'll then clip up the podcast, and then I'll post it on social for you guys. And then I'm going to collaborate with the agent. So the reason that's cool is now you're providing for agents that don't know you, but if they accept that collaboration, you're getting in front of all those followers. Is that exciting, guys? I'm trying to think of new ways.
Yeah.
Like adding
I
stuff.
can see how that works. It's an interesting concept.
Okay. I've been
connection.
personally doing it for like mortgage coaches and loan officers. I can't tell you how many clients I've got personally just from inviting them on my podcast. Because when they post it, here, I'll actually show you a great example of this on my own.
Cool. I
One
love
second.
it.
Let me pull up mine. Let's see. Okay. Here. Okay. So this one, I did a podcast with Andrew, and this is just a good example of what it'd look like for your agent. So I took the podcast and I created it into short clips. One of the clips I posted, I collaborated with Andrew. So now not only does it go on my profile, but if I go to Andrew's profile, it went to all of his followers as well on top of that right here. So that's pretty cool, huh? Like imagine not just utilizing your followers, but now you're getting in front of your agent's followers too. Just by recording it. So pretty excited about it. I hope that like gets you guys excited. Another thing
That's cool.
I can do for you guys. But okay, we'll stop there. Just a few things. If you're not recording your videos, please record your videos. If you want, I'll even have my assistant text you every single week to remind you to record your videos on Fridays. So just text me or email me if you want my assistant to do that. He does a pretty good job of staying on top of you. Jason, does he do that for you? I think I see you smiling. He does. Okay. Has he been pretty consistent with it? Like texting you every Friday?
Pretty consistent, yeah.
Okay. So just let me know if you need that reminder because we'll do it. Like we're that serious about getting you guys to the videos.
Hey, Devin.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick. Oh no, I can't hear you, Rick. Your mic stopped working.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I hit a wrong button. See, I'm a tech guy. Hey, listen, those thumbnails that you had on your website, how do you create those thumbnails?
Yeah, so I can actually do them for you too. I started creating thumbnails for everybody's like Instagram and stuff, but what ended up happening was the engagement went down.
Right.
So just know there's a trade-off in engagement. I like the thumbnail so much. I'm like kind of stubborn. I know I'm getting less engagement, but they look cool. Yeah. But I do that for all my clients. So if you're like, hey, Devin, I do want the thumbnails created on like my Instagram account and TikTok, I'll do it for you. I just need to know. But I try to do what gets more engagement. I'm just stubborn and I like the thumbnails.
Okay, cool. Because I'm working on another idea. Can we talk about it offline?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool? Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Anybody have any questions before I go? Kind of last call.
One more question about the phone calls. So the recording of the phone call, does that show up in the conversation? And you can
yeah. So, and if you turn on the transcription, it will even like transcribe it with the text, and you'll see when you turn it on, it will just be a play recording that you click a button and then it'll play it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Hey, all right, guys. John, I'm gonna get your video here after this phone call. Thanks, guys, for like being a client of mine. I really appreciate y'all. You have no idea. Like, I really care about all my clients. If you ever need anything, call or text me. And then if I don't answer, I'll call right back. I'm just on another call, and I hope everybody has a great week. If you need anything again, just let me know. Okay, guys.
Hey, thanks, Devin.
Right. See ya.
You guys.
Bye.